It's with Pete Davis,
Yay!
producer, sidekick, and sports raconteur, and published author extraordinary, I might add, too. And, of course, the mechanical mangler at the controls, Philander at El Flando Condo, our makeshift radio podcast studio. How's it going? It's as we speak, it is the 17th of June, and it's a Let It Rip Friday. Anything
Father's
goes.
Day, come on.
Is it Father's Day this weekend?
Yes.
I thought it was next week.
Yeah, US Open's always Father's
I'll be damned. That's right, too. Well, good. Anyway, so there we are. Anyway, so happy Father's Day if you're listening in time for Father's Day. So whatever. And I always have, I always feel bad about it because I always feel I was never as good a father as I should have been and all that. But I love my daughters, and thank God they still like me. So that's a very good sign. Okay. God, we got so much to can I do some personal stuff first? Sure. Last we spoke. What are you doing? You washing yourself? What you do to yourself?
I literally spilled chocolate. There's M&Ms on my shorts here, which are white. So
it's my fault. Every day I bring
the water.
I bring the Nestle's Crunch Bar, and then I got some of those little M&M packs. I brought those.
By the way, it's 100 degrees outside. Do you not have a pair of shorts you wear? Why are you wearing jeans when it's 100 degrees?
Why would I subject the public to me wearing shorts?
I mean, when I was a kid, we played tennis in this weather, drinking whiskey in blue jeans. But those days are long gone.
Honestly, I don't. I'll tell you because. Oh my God! All right, you asked me, and I'll be honest with you. All right.
Please.
Well, God, this is not going to come out good. Well, I used to be a runner, as you know. I used to run 12 miles a day for a long time. I mean, I ran marathons. I could run. I had great legs. I'm sorry, and I had a great butt. I'm sorry. I'm just telling you. Even my daughter Jennifer would tell me her friends used to follow me around the mall and joke about what a great anyway. So I used to have great legs, and I used to wear short shorts when I worked out, stuff like that, because So I don't anymore because I'm at the stage where I clearly the problem is as you get older. I mean, look at my arms. I still have muscle, but I have the wrinkles. Yeah. See, because at some point your muscle tone begins to diminish.
Well, you're losing collagen in your skin,
and it's filled with wrinkles. Yeah. And my legs are the same way. They're really not very attractive, and so clearly. I'm going to be hot anyway, and I don't. I mean, even the other, when I tried to hit balls was it a couple of weeks ago or something? I was wearing slacks, my khaki slacks, 98 degrees or something, because I think I look like an idiot. I think I just don't like that. Now, if I was going to the pool and stuff like that, that's one thing. But to be wandering around wearing shorts, I'm just not comfortable in it. And also, I like looking like a cowboy. I wear my cowboy boots and my jeans, and I wear it every freaking day. And by the way, I might even start going totally more cowboy. In my stuff I found from my storage in Florida, I found two of my favorite hats. My straw cowboy hat and my actual Stetson, the Marlboro Man white Stetson, which I have.
You better bring that Monday.
The actual ones. And as for the record, when my father, when he retired from GE, running the nuclear programs for GE in the Defense Department of the Navy, he was so popular and so well liked that they gave him a white Stetson. The good guy always wins, and you had the white hat of GE. My father became the boss of GE after the price fixing scandal of 1958 or whatever it was.
The great price fixing scandal.
No, it was a GE and I think Westinghouse or Western Electric or somebody. I don't remember who. They were in cahoots to fix prices for various things. Got caught. And everybody got fired. And the GE made my father the youngest general manager in their history. And he lasted there for 30 years, and he retired. Then they hired him back because they missed him so much. Anyway, they gave him a white hat, and I have a Stetson white hat just like my dad and my favorite straw cow. I'll try to remember to bring him in. Why in the world? Anyway, so I don't wear shorts. So I can wear my cowboy boots. I go to the barn. I go to the stable. I'm not going to go up to the stable wearing shorts and sneakers.
So you're a cosplayer.
I'm a cosplayer, yeah.
You're dressing up as a cowboy all the time.
Yep. And frankly, I have several sets of spurs. I don't wear them, obviously, because I don't have a horse, and I didn't wear them on Jack. If I wore them on Jack, it was just because I love the way they sound. I never use them. You don't spur a horse if you don't need to. Anyway, So that's why I don't wear shorts, and I don't care if I'm hot. And by the way, for the record, I was sitting there in the car outside of Flounders here for a few minutes, getting my thoughts organized and making a few other notes, and I was sweating. I mean, it's hot. It's hot and muggy hot. But if I'm driving along, I'll bet you going home, it'll be 96 in the car, and I'll bet you I'll have the windows down at least halfway with no air on, with no air conditioning. I'm not as affected driving along with the air as I used to be. It's really amazing. And my house is set. My thermostat is set way higher than it ever used to. Hotter than it used to be.
What? What do you got it on? I got mine on 79, 80.
I mine at 78, but to my house, 78 means like 84.
Yeah.
I mean, if you put it to 72, you'll freeze.
Yeah.
So, but again, I don't know. It's just for the record. Boom. Oh, I was mentioning a personal thing. I tried your Jimmy Dean breakfast burrito. Mm-hmm. Delicious.
They are. Put some hot sauce on it.
And now wait a minute. I couldn't. In fact, I mean, it comes in a little plastic thing, and the directions are you take it out of the plastic thing, wrap it in a paper towel, and cook it for 80 seconds. And it came out soft and moist and fresh. Yeah. And I mean, the insides were. I mean, I couldn't believe it.
It's full of stuff. It's not just extraneous air.
It's squishy. I mean, it's if you bite into it, it's gonna like an overbulging burger
Put some
thing.
Texas Pete on that.
Yeah, but again, it's not like a 3-pound burrito you get at the restaurant. I mean, it's a small breakfast food thing, but it was really good. I couldn't buy it, and I want to pass it along. I was very shocked. And it's perfect size for me. I don't eat a lot in the morning. I can't eat a lot in the morning. And it's perfect size to have to hold me over until my next thing. So
ever since Taco Cabana closed there on Cheshire Bridge in Piedmont, they had the best ever breakfast burrito of all time. Haven't come close. I can't find anybody who has it even close to what they
Well,
had.
let me also mention this. The reason I even put it down on my first thing on my stack today was Pete's Jimmy Dean breakfast burrito was because I have never in my life had a breakfast burrito until Jimmy Dean, because of you.
Well,
Not in my life ever. Not driving across country and looking for something to eat at 4 o'clock in the morning. I've never ordered one. I've never ever in my life. And the first one I had was freaking delicious, and it was from Jimmy Dean.
Don't eat any others.
And by the way, the other thing, I tried to get you guys, and neither one of you wanted it. I sent you a picture of the pack of Jimmy Dean's hash browns.
That doesn't look good.
And they're not good. I didn't like them at all. I mean, they're fine, but they're too flaky.
You know what they have at Trader Joe's?
No.
First of all, their breakfast burrito at Trader Joe's is pretty good.
Never been there.
I'll say
I think I may have walked. I went there once to try to find something.
I bought their cheeseburger burrito. And the damn thing tastes just like a cheeseburger. It was amazing.
That's probably a good sign.
I'd rather have the cheeseburger, but if you need one, there it is.
Oh, be damned. Well, I wouldn't have thought. Now, what's Trader Joe's known for? Just fresh food or different food?
It's different food, but it's tasty. It's not very expensive.
It's more expensive, isn't it?
Kroger, not really.
It's not?
Kroger is like, especially the fruit. First of all, Trader Joe's has the best fruit, even better than Whole Foods, fruit and vegetables.
Yeah.
And they have stuff nobody else has. Kroger just gets the most bland stuff. It's totally bland. Where Trader Joe's has this niche food that you like, and you can find and go, oh my God, I love that. And you'll just find yourself eating it 3 or 4 times a week.
I've never really spent time wandering around in there.
And the women are better looking in there.
Well, I'm sure that's true. Oh, by the way, speaking of fresh food, as you know, I've complained about tomatoes for years. So you can't get a good tomato anymore. You used to get great tomatoes. What's that?
You're not supposed to eat them. They're unhealthy for you. They're not good for you.
Oh, that's not true.
No, they're full of something called lectins, and lectins is what ages you. You don't want to eat beans. You don't want to eat tomatoes.
Well, I don't like beans. I mean, I love refried beans. But if I have chili, it's with chili with no beans. I hate those regular pork and beans. Anyway, you can't find a good tomato. And my little friend Gretchen dropped off some a week ago that she found at this little farmer's market type place in Roswell, near where all the little stores and shops are in downtown Roswell, old Roswell. And so I went there and I bought a bunch of tomatoes. And I was talking to the guy, and because they're fresh and they're really good. And they're not all, sloppy, juicy, or that orange or that yellow cord running through them. The horrible. Anyway, and the guy, I guess the owner was there, and I came in and I said, I'm not even sure when you're open. It's my first visit here. Are you open 7 days a week? And he said, oh, I wish we could. He said, I wish we. And he's got it's all fresh food. It's all fresh vegetables of every kind and stuff. And he said, oh, I wish we could, but I can't find anybody to work for me. And in fact, the day I went in there the first time, this was the second time to get my refill, there was about a 13-year-old girl in there, and I guess he can't find. I assume it's his daughter or granddaughter or somebody. He can't find people to work. And he said, even, what's it, $12 an hour or whatever. He said, people won't do it. And it reminded me, I got a note here. We got a note here. I think it was on the Kimmer Show Facebook page, podcast page rather. And it's from Tom. It said, I'm a truck driver. He was talking about me doing stuff during midday and everything. He said, out here, it's working man's hours. Traffic's backed up all the time. He said, nobody works anymore, and it seems everybody has money to burn. Good luck, safe travels, and enjoy your vacation. I mean, everybody's talking about the same thing, yeah. and then these idiots are complaining about what a great economy we're having. We're about to suffer some real serious.
Everybody seems to be living off borrowed money, and the bills coming due.
I don't know where they're getting it.
Credit.
I mean, yeah, I guess. I mean, and mine's going. I had when I finally sold my last underwater property and took a beating of.
Well, you shouldn't buy property that's underwater.
Well,
Cameron.
that was stupid. What did I know? I was following, Barack Hussein Putty-Tat. I find one in Cape Cod or Martha's Vineyard. Anyway, so I finally, what little I had left, I basically paid almost all of my credit cards. I just finally got rid of them. So all I had really was a car note and my mortgage. Well, that's gone now because of my teeth and my eyes and my, my stuff and everything. All of a sudden, boom, bam, pow, and it's 20 grand for this and 10 grand for that. Oh, jeez. And it's only going to go up. When interest rates go up, they're not going to solve the inflation by raising interest rates. They're going to put everybody out of business and make sure you can't buy anything anymore. And then you're going to have to you're going to use credit cards even more, and they're going to go up.
They're going to print more money.
Oh, it's just, oh God. Another, just a quick personal note, if I might, from one of our Facebook fellows named Eddie Alexander. He said he was watching one of our podcasts the other day. And by the way, thank you. Are you on Facebook? Thank you so much for being part of it. Very, very grateful. He said, this is where I put on the podcast, chill and laugh my ass off. Don't hold back or apologize for talking politics. You say the things we all want to say, little people can't. I go back and listen to the old ones and sometimes hear something I forgot or don't need to forget any of this crap the swamp is doing anyway. Libs, Dems, media declaring war on conservatives. We're still sitting in the corner with our gloves on. They aren't even trying to hide it anymore. Like you say, they're asking for it and they're going to get it when they aren't going to like it when they do. Don't mistake our desire to do things right as weakness. When you do what you're trying to do things the right way and it always doesn't work out, the whole judicial system is clearly against us.
It is.
And again, more and more people are feeling this way, and we keep hearing the big lies out of Washington. In fact, I know one of my notes here. Hold on, let's see if I can find this. I got from watching TV the other day. Maybe it was last night or the other day. Martha, what's her name? The blind Martha from Fox News. Oh God, I hate when I do this. McCallum. Martha McCallum. For some reason, the Fox hosts now, at least before 8 o'clock at night, are having more and more liberal Biden spokespeople on their sets. Martha had on a guy who was defending President Potato Head's trip to Saudi Arabia after they first denied he was even going to do it. When she said, well, now we have a situation with a bad economy. He's killed the pipeline, and now he's going over to beg for oil in Saudi Arabia. And he said, no, let me correct you, Martha. The international cooperation between our two countries has never been stronger. And where our president's going to show his leadership by talking about various issues that affect the entire world economy. I mean, just a freaking word salad. And he never, and Martha, God bless her, she tried. She said, well, now, wait a minute. You mean but he's going to be talking about getting more oil, right? I mean, so they can, start producing more oil so he can. And he said, well, their subjects will include many things, Martha, including the economic production. And they go, I wanted to grab it out of his throat. And that, I don't like this guy with the glasses who does the 4 o'clock thing. He's a business guy. I can't remember his name now, but he's getting real liberal.
Cavuto?
Yeah.
He's been liberal for years now.
And he's getting worse and worse and worse.
Yeah.
He had on Kensinger, the guy that Tucker Carlson makes fun of. It's a crybaby and the liberal who's on the January 6th committee. Yeah. Of all the people to put on his show on Fox News, he has that guy to represent Republicans.
He's not
who hates the Trump. My God. And they're doing it more and more and more. And obviously something's going on. And again, everybody made fun of me when I went up to Joey Jones at the end of our little town hall and said, Joey, keep the faith, man.
Joey?
I pounded him on the chest. You ever been to a Turkish prison?
Joey?
Joey.
Arm around Joey.
If you're honest,
that photo will live in infamy.
It's not even that. If you are of a certain age, all you have to do is go up to another guy and say, Joey, Joey. and we know exactly.
Ever seen a grown man naked?
How'd you like to drag Kareem Abdul all day?
Bill Lambier. No, it wasn't. It was Bob Lanier. For all these years, I thought it was Bill Lambier.
It was Bob
He was
Lanier?
saying Bob Lanier.
Was that what it was?
That's what it was, yeah.
That's funny. Joey.
Which is disgusting when you think about it, but it's funny as hell back then.
It was. It still is. I mean, you can't help but laugh at that movie, and you know all the lines. And who doesn't know all the lines? Also, speaking of last night, one of the great lines on Tucker last night, I can't remember, I should have written down the guy's name, but it was a conservative observer, a commentator and so forth. And he said, they were talking about Fauci getting the virus. Here's a guy who's probably had 40 vaccinations and 25 boosters, and
Maybe.
he gets the virus. And I remember when he did, when we found out about this Wednesday, first thing we said was, I know he's going to say what all the Democrats say, thank God I was vaccinated and boosted because the effects were less da-da-da-da-da. So this guy's on Tucker last night, and he says, Tucker, the Democrats all crediting the vaccine for what a great job it did. He says it's like saying thank you to your birth control after you get pregnant, because if you hadn't taken it, you probably would have had triplets. I mean, this is how they justify their nonsense. And now they're talking about booster shots and a different vaccine for more children. Baby, yeah. And Governor DeSantis of Florida says, oh, no, you don't. He said, I'll tell you what, if you want this new shot, I'll make sure you have it available in Florida, but I'm not paying for it. DeSantis says you can get it if you want. I'll make sure we have a supply of it. But the state of Florida is not spending tax money for this child molesting. We'll have it. If you want it, you can buy it, but I'm not going to supply it because it's not right.
It's freedom.
I mean, and again, he didn't take away your freedom. He gave you the opportunity, but he didn't. And now they're talking about, what am I hearing about gas cards? They're going to start giving people gas coupons.
I just saw that Biden admin is considering giving gas rebate cards
to try to ease our break for the just in time for the election. I'll be damned. Just in time for the fall election, the Biden people are going to be giving out free gas cards.
And the next step, of course, would be gas ration cards.
Well, because you have to go electric. That could just solve it if we just all buy an electric car. You cheap bastards.
This summer, which is already one of the hottest ever, is going to prove how that's not going to work, because people in California, aren't they already browning out?
Yeah, absolutely.
There's not enough electricity.
Well, the other thing is when you're using an electric vehicle, I'm assuming if you use your AC, it's going to use a lot of the energy.
Well, not only that, they don't. We are a long way from having a battery system on an electric car in weather with examples like this that'll last. They wear down after a while. They get worse and worse and worse, and they don't. I mean, we're not ready for this. In fact, somebody was making a joke about Ocasio Bang-Bangio Stupidio, who was saying, well, they complain that the windmills don't work when it's not windy, then let's just get some diesel generators and make sure that when there's no wind that the diesel generators fire up to make the windmills blow. Yeah, okay, that's a pretty good idea.
Where do you get the diesel from, you dumb bitch?
I mean, my God. It's driving me nuts. And speaking of the heat, did you see the story? I was unbelievable video. 10,000 cows dropped dead in Kansas.
Yeah, the heat.
And the reason is because, and by the way, people ask, what about livestock that stays out in the hot weather in the deserts in New Mexico and Arizona in the summertime? The animals are outdoors, much of the time. The reason they can do that is because their systems are designed so that when the weather cools enough at night, they can restore their rested, needed heat index system, whatever it is, so that they're ready again for the next day. What happened in Kansas, and if you haven't seen the video, it's brutal. I mean, it's like they just fell over. And the legs up in the air. I mean, it's like the it's like cartoons.
Which you know what that means: meat shortage, and the price is going to go.
I'll address that in a second. But again, you'll see the video is just horrible of all these guys. But the problem was what happened at night. The temperature shot back up to 100 degrees in the dark, and so the animals never recovered, and they all just died. They dropped 10,000 of them. Now they had a beef guy I saw interviewed. And they asked, is this going to mean beef prices are going up? And he said, here's what he said. He said, first of all, you have to understand, and most of us have no idea. He said, we process something like 1 million cows a day for food, or 1 million cows a week, or 1 million cows, or some enormous number. So 10,000 doesn't mean squat. I mean, 10,000 will not mean we're going to pay more for beef prices.
You wonder, when we were kids, my grandfather used to get calls in the middle of the night that a cow had gotten out, or a bull had been hit by something on the road.
Yeah.
He would call the butcher in town, and
get
they'd
him.
meet, and they'd go get the cow, bull, pick it up, and immediately take it to the butcher to process
Yeah.
it. I wonder if they do that with these.
Well, here's the other thing. I don't know. In fact, that's a great question. I don't know whether they can sell. I'll bet you if they do, you'll never know it, because how would people react to the fact, those dead cows with the legs up in here you saw? Yeah, they took them to the butcher. They're on your table. I don't think that'll ever happen.
What do you think? We get meat from live cows?
Well, but all right, I just lost my thought. Crap, hold on.
Kimmer losing his thought, brought to you by
crap.
Atlanta Custom Closets. ClosetPro.net, 404-255-0589. That's Atlanta Custom Closets, ClosetPro.net.
All right, I almost had it back. The 10,050. Oh, here we go. Also, speaking of these cows, the expert who's a rancher, does this for a living, was saying that the farmers basically, and each one of those cows is worth $2,000. 10,000 cows dropping. What's that? 20 million? 2 million?
10,000 times 2,000?
10,000 times 2,000.
You said there'd be no math.
That's 20 million, isn't it?
Wait a minute. Siri,
That's unbelievable.
how much is 2,000 times 10,000? Oh, wait a second. It's 20 million.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, pretty good.
Is that unbelievable?
That's pretty good. You got it right?
Did I got it right?
It is amazing.
By the way, speaking of being, you're amazed that I got it right. I won't go into a thing. I had a doctor's appointment yesterday. I've got one again next Tuesday, and so the girl who was that I saw yesterday was writing out her appointment.
Did she say see you next Tuesday?
No. See you next Tuesday. I did. We're sitting here at the desk. I'm all ready to go, and she said, and by my thing next Tuesday is very important. It's something obviously I'm going to look forward to, and I can't wait. Okay, so she said, do I need to write you an appointment ticket for next week? And I looked at her and I said, silly rabbit. And so she wrote me an appointment sticker. When I was saying it was meaning, of course not. I know I'm going to be here early because I'm always early, but also I can't.
She took
She took a silly rabbit to mean. Of course I need to remind her. She must.
So
it's
she knows
exactly the opposite. I was telling her, I'm so sure I guarantee I won't be thinking about anything else until Tuesday. And she thought, well, poor thing, he knows he's going to forget, and he wants me to write him a note. Oh God, I hate my life.
I understand, Mr. Peterson.
I mean, really, this is the same girl when I said I hate going. She said it's gonna be okay.
Did she reach across the desk and pet your
Patted
head
my hand
and say,
a little bit.
"You're so pretty. You're so pretty."
Oh, mercy. All righty. Let's see. By the way, is Holy Crap at Sports coming up
Later today.
Later today. And I got a couple things I want to talk about concerning that. And there's a scandal involving a very famous wrestling promoter. And I've got you the new Sports Illustrated, which I'm still reading, so I'll bring it to you shortly. But there's a pretty cool article in there about one of the most famous movies, sports movies ever, and how it came to be, and about the old author who started it and had never written a book, let alone a movie before. Anyway, all that's coming up here in a second. But first, a couple of memories, a couple of anniversary things, if we don't mind. Now I can't find it. Here we go. This was the day in 1994. Oh, by the way, we mentioned this. I want to say 106.3 on radio this morning with Flounder's Place, which I do Friday mornings at 7:30. And by the way, I'll tell them I'll do better. I was horrible. Remember, if you go to thekimmershow.net on the web, thekimmershow.net, you can get everything. You can contact us. You can sign up on YouTube, and we're asking people just do it once. All you do is once, just click the YouTube thing, then click subscribe, and you're done forever. But you can listen, figure out how to listen to the Friday morning call-in. You can listen to the noon podcast on Saturday that we have for an hour and so forth. But don't listen today. I was horrible. I'm not used to talking on the radio. I get excited and frantic. Anyway, but we were talking this morning about a couple of big anniversaries on this day in history. One of them being the O.J. trial. Actually, not the trial, but the beginning of it.
Race.
1994, the slow-speed Bronco chase in his white Bronco. And by the way, if you're of a certain age, if you see a white Bronco, the only thing you're going to think about is O.J. Simpson and the white Bronco chase. Chances are, if you see an old white Bronco. Anyway, with Al Cowling, who was, I guess, driving. O.J. was in the backseat with a gun to his head or something.
Is Al still with us?
I don't think I've heard him die. Yeah. And again, and Flounder, I thought it was pretty interesting because I was listening to you guys before 7:30 when I got on, and they were talking about Mark Furman and clearly convicted him of planting the bloody glove and all this kind of stuff. And so I kind of had to say, no, wait a minute, boys, you may have, this is amazing. The younger generation, I think, has an entirely different view of the O.J. case entirely than those of us who were older and maybe followed it differently. I mean, really, it was astounding to me. There were a couple things that I think they were even shocked about. But the psychopathic butcher got away with it. The coddled athlete, O.J. Simpson, led police on the famous slow-speed Bronco chase. And he's going to roast in hell because that's true. It was a process. When he did that chase, they handcuffed him, then let him go, and then eventually arrested him again. What is your overriding O.J. It started today, the O.J. Simpson chase, looking back on it now from 1994?
It's a bad day. I just broken up with a girlfriend. I was house sitting for our former boss, Bob Houghton. And
really?
I was sitting there in this big old house by myself watching the chase, sitting there, and I'm not even caring about the thing because I just broken up with this chick. So that is the only memory I really have of just sitting there watching this stupid chase, not wanting to be watching that stupid chase.
Now, were you the one who broke up, or did she break up?
She did.
She did.
Yeah.
Now, so was this a traumatic thing that definitely affected you,
bad.
or was
it was bad.
All right. So you weren't expecting. Was it a thing that looked like it was
out
coming?
Of the blue. It was out of the blue.
Out of the blue. Oh man. I'm sorry to bring it up, but
no,
again,
that's okay.
Well, no. I'm so sorry, Pete.
You bastard!
It was 28 years ago.
Give me those Kleenexes.
Too soon?
Yeah, too soon.
28 years. Oh yeah, tell me about it. About getting your heart broken. Oh, chicks, man.
I tell you, it kicked. I'd already had trust kicked out of me.
Yeah.
Because I was completely trusting.
Yeah.
And the second time it happened, it was like, you'll never be the same.
Yeah.
You're never the same.
Yeah.
You never trust the same. Yep.
That's true. Well, I learned my lesson after 14 times or whatever it was.
She said no.
Yeah, she said no. My God, man. Sitting there on the beach in Acapulco. Married? Oh well, I don't know. Sorry. Anyway, no, things are good. Things are really good. Flounder, you were like 10, right?
I was 94, so I think I was a freshman or a sophomore.
Oh, you were in high school at the time?
Yeah, and I remember the day, I remember I was up in my bonus room. We had a bonus room, and I was watching TV up there, and it started happening. And then, of course, we ordered pizza, and just watched it on TV.
Yeah. Now,
But again, Domino's had record sales that night.
That's true.
Nobody was going anywhere.
Nope.
And remember the shots of the overpasses, all the kids saying, "Go OJ," and "We love you, OJ," and all. Oh my God.
The funny thing is, I remember too where I was when they read the verdict. I was in line at Philly Connection, and when they read the verdict, I remember. When they read the verdict, all the black people in line cheered.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we're in the newsroom.
We were in the newsroom, and when they read the verdict, all the black people went nuts, and all the white guys are going, "Are you
We're
kidding
looking at
me?
each other going,
How
oh
the
my
hell
God.
did they find that innocent?" Yeah. I mean, there was blood on the bronze. Remember, there was drops of blood on the
Look at
handle
me.
of his door. Of his
All the sales girls came in, and mostly black women. And this is a guy who hadn't dated a black woman in 20
He
years.
didn't like black girls.
He only wanted white women. He had turned his back on black women, and they're cheering for
Yeah,
him.
I know. It was unbelievable. I mean, it was racially split exactly right down between.
Well,
black
not
and
only
white.
that, because of what happened with the riots, I'm sure that had a lot to do with it as well. Do you not think so?
Because of Rodney King.
And what happened to L.A. when they were all
Simi
found not
Valley
guilty?
and all that stuff. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. But I think this was a get back. I think this was. We heard people saying, "Well, it's about time that we got one for the brothers." It was jury nullification. There was no way that he was innocent. That anybody in their right mind would have. But again, Marcia Clark, what an idiot! She comes in with her little teeny little mini skirts and her little chunky legs, and trying to look like some kind of sex symbol or something. And then it was her buddy Darden, who she was apparently a farkalooka with him at the same time. I guess her oral arguments were not limited to the courtroom, apparently. Okay, you win, Martha. Marcia.
Well, it wasn't a black and white case.
Ring wrong. But it was a Darden who said, "OJ, try that glove on." Go ahead. But I thought, "Oh, you idiot!" First of all, the glove could have had anything happen to it in the meantime.
Well, he didn't take his arthritis pills either.
Not only did he not take his arthritis pills, he also spread his fingers out and his wrist as far as he could get them. "Oh, it won't go on, Your Honor. I'll be damned. Just can't seem to get it on my hand."
It was like Mickey Mouse putting on white gloves.
The damnedest thing. I thought, "Oh, you freaking idiot! If a glove don't fit, you must have quit." Johnny Cochran, and that did it. That was the ball. And the other thing was, and this was kind of surprising when I was listening this morning talking about it, was on Mark Furman. Mark Furman made the biggest, and I was kind of joking, and this didn't come out right. I was such an idiot on the radio this morning. But I was going to try to make the point that if I ever run for office or ever try to run where people are going to publicly ask me questions, they're going to bring up I've done something that someone's going to remember, and they're going to say, "Did you once call that woman a big fat so and so?" And I'm going to say, "Probably, yeah, I probably did. I'll go yes to that. If it was wrong at the time, I apologize. A lot of things happened." It says, "Yep, go ahead," and I'm so sorry, and that's the way it goes. And stop talking. Mark, when F. Lee Bailey said to Mark Furman, and he must have known this was a setup question, "Have you ever, when they say, have you ever used the N-word?" Mark Furman should have said, yes, I have, and stopped talking. And then when F. Lee Bailey would have gone, "Oh, crap. When did you last use it?" "Oh, I don't remember." "Objection, Your Honor," asked and answered. And then if F. Lee Bailey tried to say, "Well, when you used it, what did you use it in?" Then the prosecutor said, "Wait a minute, Your Honor. He already said he's used it. What difference does it make? What are you trying to prove?" And he wouldn't have had to call him a liar. The reason it was important was because when Mark Furman, when he played the tape, Mark Furman's it was over.
Liar.
And then they said, "Well, he obviously planted the glove." I don't think Mark Furman had anything to do with that glove. In fact, I think the transcript showed that he was talking to somebody when somebody else found it.
I know.
And by the way, the clunk behind OJ's house, or behind, who's a little long-haired guy? I keep forgetting.
Cato
Kalin. He heard a big clunk. That was OJ.
He ended up being a hostile witness.
When he heard the clunk, Mark Furman was not there.
I know.
So, clearly Mark Furman didn't plant the glove, but everybody, of a younger generation, Mark Furman planted that glove because he lied about the N-word. No, he did. Both things were just stupid.
And it gave us the Kardashians.
That's right. Yeah. It all led to, and by the way, one of the funniest visuals ever in my life that I saw was when the verdict was announced. We're watching TV, and when they said Orenthal, blah, 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 James Simpson, and not guilty, Robert Kardashian looked like, "Oh my God, I can't believe they found him innocent."
Right.
He almost fainted. You look at if you haven't seen it, if you're of an age where you didn't see it, go back and get the video of OJ being the second they found him innocent. Robert Kardashian looks like he said, "Oh my God."
I wonder if you went back and showed Robert Kardashian what his daughters were going to turn out, if he wouldn't smother them in their cribs.
You know, and by the way, for the record, I've never seen the Kardashian show. I couldn't. If you showed me all the Kardashians, I could pick out Kim Kardashian because I've seen her face enough, and she's got the biggest butt I think I've ever seen in my life.
She destroyed Marilyn Monroe's dress. Did you see that?
Oh my God, that's right. And in fact, they had to re-put all the special sequins and pearls and all this stuff.
She ripped it because of her fat ass.
Oh God, I mean the actual original dress.
Who gave her that?
Oh, I don't know. Some racist. So I don't know anything about. I couldn't identify if you put up 4 Kardashians. I wouldn't know who was whom. Now what the hell was I going to talk?
Trollop, tramp.
But isn't it true that the only reason we ever heard the name Kardashian, other than the OJ trial, was a sex tape that went public?
Her sex tape with
a rapper.
Yeah.
A girl named Kim Kardashian was having sex with a rap star, and because she was the daughter of the OJ lawyer, she became famous and then built. And how did she turn being a slut on video into a billion-dollar industry with her sister?
Well, her mother was brilliant by doing it.
Or was it her sister? Who's the other Kardashian?
Well, there was like 2 or 3 other sisters, Courtney and Chloe and everything.
But they're sisters, right? That's not her daughter or anything. Yeah,
and the mother just basically, they got a reality TV show, the first one, big one, to follow them around Hollywood, and it became a hit, and that's where it went. Psh.
But let's not forget.
And they destroyed 2 generations of young women.
She was being a tramp on video, bragging about it, and turned it into a billion-dollar business.
Yeah, her mother did it. Yeah.
Yeah, her own mother whored her out.
I mean, it's unbelievable, and that is. I mean, that was probably this is 90. We're talking 90s here. That was really the beginning of the TikTok. Let's everybody get famous on video, social media,
minutes, baby.
The 15 minutes of fame thing.
Yeah.
Isn't that really?
And they just ended their last show. They just finished it.
No, they're coming back.
What? I thought they just did a big
bragging
balloon.
about 20 years and gone or something.
I think that they're coming back because they missed the attention.
Well, they just left.
Oh my God. Anyway, I mean, that's just freaking hard to believe. But they're billionaires. All right, hold on. Coming up, I want to talk to you about the 5 idiots who changed history in 1972 on this very day, but didn't change it.
Yeah, they're back on Hulu.
Back on
Hulu. I don't have Hulu.
Also, whether you can pray in school, Tony Soprano's alma mater's in the news today. Be very careful, my friend. Also, now can you play the girl singer or not? Do we figure that out? Okay, coming up, a girl singer that surprised us who is also in the news as we begin also talking about some wokeness. And have you heard what they tried to do to Lauren Boebert, the Colorado congresswoman? And we got a whole bunch of stuff like that coming up. But first, Dead Crow Defense is back. Ready to arm patriots like you, the Kimmer Show followers on the podcast. It's not a gun store. It is your personal arms dealer. You're driving along, you're with your buddies doing something, phone rings. Sorry, I got to take this. It's not a gun store. It's Dead Crow Defense, my personal arms dealer. This is important because what they're trying to do in America to take away not only our weapons, but our ammo and our accessories and our stocks and all, the magazines and everything, kind of clips, everything, that kind of stuff. Dead Crow Defense is not going to scoff at you when you request a specific caliber of ammo that nobody else seems to be able to find. Dead Crow Defense makes firearm, suppressor, ammunition, and gear sales easy and painless. It's the old-fashioned way of personalized customer service and great stuff, quality products. By the way, it hadn't been this easy to buy a suppressor in America since the 1930s. The customers at Dead Crow Defense only wait an average of like 65 days to get the approval, which is spectacular, I can tell you that. Now, Dead Crow Defense. If they don't have it, they will get it. It'll be shipped out the next day. Here's how you find Dead Crow Defense. DeadCrowDefense.com. Ta-da! That was fairly simple. DeadCrowDefense.com for in-stock items shipping out the next day. Or if you're in a pinch, give them a call. Here's the phone number. Area 678 678-576-9117. 678-576-9117. Or give them an email. Here's the email. sales@deadcrowdefense.com. See how easy that is? They'll work out with you anything you're looking for. Your arms dealer ready to discuss what you're looking for. Please tell them the Kimmer sent you. Dead Crow Defense, your arms dealer.
Did you see where Avery posted on Facebook yesterday? The Biden administration, with one swoop of the pen, cut out almost 2/3 of the ammo supply of a certain caliber.
Yeah. Again, he's going. Oh, in fact, the latest rumor of him with his executive orders is that if the Supreme Court rules and releases the information that Roe v. Wade is basically dead and it's up to the states, he's going to declare a medical emergency and allow federal funding of abortions for women who have to travel across state lines or something like that.
Evil.
I mean, can you believe these people?
Evil.
I mean, honestly, I'm horrified. I mean, again, I don't have a stand on abortion. What do I know about abortion? Obviously, I mean, I have opinions about it, but I'm not going to condemn a woman who got raped and doesn't want to have a baby.
That's less than 1%. That's all
that's not even an issue. That's not even the thing to talk about. But
I used to feel that till I saw the statistics.
Right, 20% of the pregnancies end in abortion. Now, that's not because there were 20% of all the pregnancies women were raped.
It's called laziness
well,
on both the men and the women. It's laziness.
Anyway, but again, if you want to do whatever you want to do to your body, that's fine, as long as you don't want me.
I've got a bag full of non-laziness in my room just for that situation.
Leave it to Flounder would be the one exception.
You know, those expire. You know,
yeah,
well, I go through them, so it's okay.
You have to drink it all at once. It goes bad. Vodka goes bad too if you leave it open. But again, if you want to get an abortion, then if that's what your choice is, then I think you have the right to do it. But don't make me pay for it.
Yeah.
I mean, again, it's like the gasoline thing. Hold on a second. You screwed up our economy and are responsible for this, so now you want my tax money to go to help you bail out your political enemy? I mean, come on, man.
The election can't come soon enough. It cannot come because if we'd held this election before this Supreme Court thing came down, before any of the racism thing had popped its ugly head again, the shootings.
Yeah.
It would have been a red wave.
Yeah.
Now,
well, it depends how many buy the big lies. The big lies by the Democrats that things are great and Biden's done a great job, and he's still saying it's Putin's fault for the gas prices and the economy's wonderful and people have more money now than they did a few years ago. My God, I love it. And on politics, the other big thing, the anniversary today is the Watergate break-in, 1972 on this day. 5 idiots arrested breaking into the Democratic National. And again, the Democratic National headquarters was at the Watergate building, which was an office, hotel, and apartment complex. It was a huge thing. It wasn't just the Democrat headquarters. They had burglary tools and a camera. But luckily, after they broke into the Watergate for the Democratic headquarters, nothing ever came of it because the media was so in love with the president at the time, just like today, and they loved his agenda so much that the media covered it up entirely, never told anything about it, never mentioned anything about the whole case, helped make sure that the president they wanted got reelected again because they decided that they liked him better than the other guy, so the media helped make sure, oh, wait a minute, oh, no, that's right, no, the media didn't cover it up after all, did they? I mean, look at the differences between going after wrongdoing in an administration, no matter who it was, and what's going on today.
Well, they hated Nixon. That was one of the reasons they went after him.
Yeah, but
if it was
still,
McGovern in there, they wouldn't have done that.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I don't think the Washington Post, those two would have gone after McGovern like they did Nixon.
I guarantee. Well, then take the example I used the last time is maybe a better example of the Pentagon Papers. The New York Times wanted nothing to do with anything concerning Biden and his graft and the investigation of Hunter and the laptop and all that stuff, but they sure would want to take on the administration again, even though it was the cheeseheads in the administration saying we couldn't win the war.
They kind of said that Nixon knew about the break-in and then tried to cover it up.
Right.
Well, don't we know that Obama knew that Hillary was setting up Trump for the collusion and everything? It was in the Oval Office when they discussed it?
Not only that, we also know that Jake Sullivan, the guy who was the go-between between Hillary and the fake report from the British spy, the go-between to set this all up was a guy named Jake Sullivan, who is today Biden's national security advisor.
And nothing is happening.
And they were in the room. Remember, the transcripts came out that they were in the room together. Putty Tat was there when, who is it, the girl, former acting attorney general from Atlanta. What's that? No, the actual girl.
Oh, I thought because you usually always say the female.
I know, the Miss Christine Ray, Christopher Ray.
No, he's the FBI director. The Attorney General we're talking about.
The Trump wanted.
Oh, the redhead crazy
from
one?
Atlanta who said, "I'm not going to obey your directions, Mr. President," became a big hero for the Democrats, even though she was supposed to carry out the edicts of the president. I can't remember her name.
Not Samantha Powers.
No. And she's now the head of King and Spalding's representatives in Washington D.C. and she was their key person, former acting attorney general. And again, she was, she just disobeyed the president, and she was in the room. I remember her testimony saying, "Yeah, I couldn't believe that the acting attorney general was in the room when they talked about the phony Steele dossier," and that was with Putty Tat was in there. I mean, what happened to that?
Nothing. But we're supposed to obey the law.
I mean, it's really. Horrible. All right, hold on. I got more history stuff later. I want to do that later on. I just wanted to make a memory of a couple of famous days in history. Let's see. By the way, speaking of one more thing, the History Channel on TV is running an entire series tonight on the Watergate break-in. And I'm going to DVR it because I'll bet you it's going to be stuff that either I didn't know or forgot or whatever. But if you're interested. Well, I DVR things and look at them at my leisure. But just for the record, if you were interested in the Watergate break-in and don't know much about it or forgot.
There's a big Friday night you got lined up there.
Hey, here's my schedule. I'll leave here. I'll go home. I'll chop up the carrots I need to do. I'll get something, I'll take either a Pepsi or some lemonade to have, and then I'll get ready.
Drink your insurer.
I'm going to chop up all the stuff for my tuna fish as salad and a special thing dinner, and then I'm going to go to the stable. I'm going to the stable later so I can get the horses outside, which is not till like after 6, so I won't get home till 7 o'clock, and then I'll do the feeds for the Facebook things, and then I'll have my dinner, and then I'll start watching TV. So that's my life. That's my big time Charlie. And I'm still trying to bring stuff into I can't find anything. Anyway, that's whatever. I'm not complaining. I'm just and I was going to try to go hit balls. Flounder, I'm going to try to get playing golf with you at some point this summer and Danny McLefty and so forth. But the only time I can really go hit balls at River Pines, which is the closest place, and that's not really right down the street, is on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday when they're on grass. So we either go Friday night, Saturday night, or Sunday night, or I don't go. And of course it's going to be 98 degrees, so I can't go tonight because I'll be at the stable late. And anyway, whatever. It's hard to plan things because I'm still going to the stable. Isn't that funny? I thought it was, whatever. I'm not complaining. I promise you I'm happy and glad to do it. Speaking of TV, I noticed that Amber Heard is going to be the guest on Dateline tonight, talking about, who didn't know that was going to happen? And who didn't know the Dateline would get her and not Johnny Depp, although he may not be wanting to talk. But that they're going to have the girl for her side, that she had to, you can't believe the girl anymore, I guess. Me Too is over now. That's the angle they're going to take, is a poor Amber Heard. They didn't believe her, and so the Me Too movement is dead. Hey, the Me Too movement died as soon as you started making it against conservatives only. How about that? With the little phony thing with Al Franken, which was was a Me Too thing, but that was just one of those little minor things got swept up in the stuff. The actual Me Too movement has been a joke for a very, very long time. It's over, but she'll be on, and I'm not going to watch it. But in case you're interested, I'll bet you they're going to do the whole thing of the shame of the death of the Me Too movement because of Amber Heard's trial.
Well, the jurors said it; they didn't believe her.
Yeah.
So that's just the way it is.
And although I will tune into it at some point because I do want to see what she looks like.
She'll be dolled up.
During the trial, she looked like she looked awful. She looked lumpy and beat up. It looked like she'd been getting hit or something. And
she was talking to her attorney, and you could tell she was smiling. And then the minute she looked at the camera, she had that same.
Yeah,
face.
but she looked harsh and kind of hard, like angular or something. She looked almost, I don't want to say manly, but she looked more masculine than I remember.
She's a beautiful woman.
So I'm going to try to see. I just want to see what she looks like. I don't give what she says because I don't care about Amber Heard. Poor baby. You think she's going to be broke paying off her fine?
Well, if they kick her off the Aquaman movie,
somebody will take. She'll be fine. we're the ones. Go to the kimmershow.net to find out a way to subscribe to help this podcast.
You want conservative talk in the media.
Yeah.
We're one of the few left.
One more kind of a celebrity media type thing. As we mentioned the other day, John Hinckley is now free to roam about doing anything he wants to the rest of his life. And he's now an acoustic musician. Did you know this? That's his new thing. And he had scheduled a concert in Brooklyn to do the first John Hinckley free on his own concert of acoustic John Hinckley singing and playing in Brooklyn. And it was set to go. And then finally, yesterday, somebody said, whoa, wait a minute. We're not having John Hinckley celebrate his freedom after trying to and almost murdering 2 other people and making a Secret Service agent have nerve damage the rest of his life, and the press secretary Brady have brain damage the rest of his life, which didn't last that much longer, and trying to murder the President of the United States, all of a sudden be free to go out and do a concert? And they said, no, we're canceling you. And I don't know who originally made the deal because it was set to go. They'd sold tickets and everything.
Because it was Reagan.
Yeah, and then somebody finally said, no, we're not. You realize what's going to happen to us if you do this? And so they released a rather harsh statement saying, you don't deserve our respect. You don't deserve to make money off us. You don't deserve this freedom, and you're not coming to do a concert. Thank God. But again, originally he was. But they, somebody's finally, maybe maybe it's another small sign that somebody's saying, wait a minute, woke is good, and he has. If he was released by court order, then he's released by court order. You can't go shoot him. He's a free citizen.
Well, you can.
Well, you can, but you have to pay for it. You shouldn't. You could, but you shouldn't. So again, you have to obey the law. But on the other hand, you also have the right to say, wait a minute, I don't have to respect you or give you my money. And you don't deserve, what you might get. So anyway, just for the record, I thought that was important. So I passed it along. What's that?
So when does Sirhan get out?
Well,
he actually killed a man, so that's a little different. And a Democrat.
Yeah.
So.
Although, now
did
he ever claim he was crazy or just obsessed with politics?
He supposedly was upset because of the Democrats America supporting Israel.
Yeah, but again, it wasn't that he was nuts. It was because of a political motive of his political. As far as I know, I don't think he ever claimed.
And his father was just horrified over there. Yeah. They finally tracked him down. He's like a poor guy over there, and it was like, oh my God, that's my son who did that.
Well, again, yeah. Do you think he should ever get out?
No.
Yeah. A couple things. I want to talk about Herschel here in a second.
The father of our country.
That's what I called him this morning. In fact, I think the guys this morning where I made the mistake of saying, so let's talk about Herschel Walker, the father of our country, and they both started laughing and I said, I didn't mean to take away the title from Evander Holyfield.
I want a photo of Herschel, Evander, and Steve Garvey.
Yeah, I'm
side
the
by
other
side.
Remember the signs of the bumper stickers that came out? Honk if you've had Steve Garvey's baby. Steve Garvey was a famous Los Angeles Dodger baseball player, Hall of Famer, and a huge celebrity. He was a TV star.
He was going to run for Senate as a Republican.
He would have. He would have made it too.
Yeah.
Good look.
Hot blonde wife.
He would talk about a Boy Scout looking guy.
My God.
I mean, perfect hair, great build. He looked, rock jaw, just handsome, a movie star look.
You could cut your hand on his hair.
Perfect hair and stuff. And he had that kind of attitude. We love America here, and I'm so proud to support my.
Very Ronald Reagan.
He was perfect.
Yeah.
He was a cookie cutter, and he was
throughout Southern California.
Chick would look at him the wrong way.
From Petaluma to Yuma.
Honk if you've had Steve Garvey's baby. I mean, poor bastard.
It would have been the equivalent. Would have been if Dale Murphy had been exposed as doing something like that.
He was a goody two-shoes.
Yeah.
He was a Mr. All-America. I remember all of a sudden, oops-a-daisy.
I'm surprised he hasn't resurfaced. Because if that was his major crime, come on. That's nothing now.
Well, was it Wade Boggs?
Oh, Boggs.
What did he give somebody herpes
he was sued
or something?
for palimony by Margot Adams, who had traveled with him for years as his second wife.
On the side, yeah. That was a second, But did he give her herpes or something? Was that what it was? No, that may not be right. I shouldn't have said that. But it was, it was. Yeah, it was his traveling second wife, basically. Anyway, well, let's talk about Herschel now. I'll do the other thing here. Secondly, Herschel Walker has now acknowledged that he has a couple more kids than we thought originally. Although, actually, it's not that he's acknowledged them. The press, it's 4. 4. The press calls it an acknowledgement. Herschel says, now, wait a minute. I support them all. I love them all. I've never denied my children. I have 4 children, 3 sons and a daughter. They're not undisclosed. They're my kids. They're not undisclosed to him. They may be undisclosed to most of the public. However, when he was being nominated for the Olympic thing or whatever the national presidential business was, he did say... Let's see, I'm trying to find it. When he was running back in Georgia, when he had to fill out a form to be appointed the President's Council on Sports, Fitness, and Nutrition by Donald Trump, Walker listed his 4 children. It's not a public form, but he didn't lie. He said he has 4 kids. He has an adult daughter born when he was running back at Georgia, a 13-year-old son, and a 10-year-old son. And the mother of the 10-year-old sued him after giving birth for the but he's taking care of his kids, and he's got the 4. But now here we go again. They're gonna say all kinds of bad things about him. When Warnock is going to claim that Herschel Walker has already talked about the problem of absentee fathers, and that's going to come up and so forth. So here once again the media's, and again I'm sure there are going to be at least a couple of October surprises come closer to the election.
Well, especially since the AJC and Abrams are pretty much linked together.
And
I mean,
Warnock.
And it's all. I mean, again,
the AJC just came out with an article talking about all the negative things that happened in Georgia, which is all bullshit.
Yeah.
But they just, because Abrams is looking so bad right now by calling Georgia the worst place to live and a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah. Notice they're not repeating any of that stuff again. But again, Herschel Walker. Now, how do you prepare him? How does his staff get him ready?
That's the problem.
It may be like the Kimmer thing of me saying, you know what? When I was running back at Georgia, I succumbed to a beautiful woman. We had sex. I loved her. She got pregnant, and it was a mistake, and I moved on. Boom.
I always remember the late great Jack Kennedy said if he ever ran for office, he would hold a press conference and he'd stand up and go, no matter what your question is, the answer is yes.
I did it. That's right. That's what I said. That's when they asked me a question. The same thing I'm saying. I did. I'm sorry if it was wrong at the time. I really feel bad, but
I may not remember it, but I probably did it.
Yeah, absolutely. You got me. You got me there. And just stop talking. And then what's he going to say? Well, we think that's horrible. Yeah, it was. Yeah. Well, then this is not the kind of senator, I mean.
I'm 100% behind you.
Totally agree with you, War. Can I call you War? I mean, really. Now, if you're his staff, how do you prepare? You have to ask him the most vulgar, violent, vicious, nasty questions he'll ever hear, because he's going to hear them. So I hope he's being prepped.
I think he quickly deflects from it and says, this is what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to do everything opposite of what he's been doing for the last year or two.
And if Trump runs again, the only way Trump can win is to say, forget all the the
tweet
stuff.
This isn't about me. This is about you.
Talk about what I've done as president, what I want to do as president, and what he's done as president. And that's the only way he can pull this off. And Walker's going to have to. His first comment I assume if there's going to be at least one debate, they're going to have one debate. That his first comments ought to be this. List like the 4 things that he's going to bring up and say, I'm glad to have the opportunity to tell you about the children I've had with 3 different women, and my comments earlier about the so-and-so, so I can clear up any misconceptions. Really looking forward to it against the opponent who doesn't even believe in God and has no idea what it means to be Christ-like.
And point out, say, I've made mistakes. I am not a perfect human being, and I'm sorry for some of the things I did. But this isn't about me. This is about the shape our country's in and how I am going to represent you when I get up there.
Yeah, and this is about him and what he's doing to support this administration, which has got to stop. I mean, it can be done, but please,
and if
God,
the people vote for Warnock, then they deserve what they get.
Then they deserve, but again, I don't deserve what we would get, and neither do you, neither does Flounder. So so we make sure you vote this time. But again, I hope that, because I don't think they've really handled this very well so far. and he'll still win. I don't think there's any.
I don't think people are paying attention right now.
I don't think they are, too.
No one's reading the AJC, for one thing.
Yeah. And again, even if they are, and I made the point this morning on the radio, 106.3, you can get the free app, made the point this morning, I don't, these are all things that happened, and so they're all things that happened. He's certainly not perfect, but I guarantee you, if I'm a voter and I'm not sure whom I should cast my vote for, if you're nervous about Herschel Walker, ask yourself, why are you nervous? Do you really think Herschel Walker is going to knock up another woman? Nah. Do you really think Herschel Walker is going to yell at a girlfriend when they had a fight? Nah. Do you really think what else was there a problem about with him? That he had he was violent with a girlfriend, and that he knocked up women, and that he was weak on the economy, that he found a pathway to citizenship for illegal aliens or something. If you're really worried about that, there's a long way to go between a law and letting people come in illegal like they're doing now. So clearly, there's really nothing to worry about Herschel Walker from his past. The only thing that any voter should be worried about is how he's going to vote, and the only person who should be worried are the liberals. A conservative should not be worried about Herschel Walker doing anything stupid if he gets to the Senate. I mean, really, do you really have any concerns about Herschel Walker doing something so atrociously ridiculous or stupid or hurtful or violent if he becomes a senator? Is that really an issue? No. The only issue is, what does he stand for and how's he going to vote? So anyway, I'm hoping people will take away, that was all when he was a teenager running back in college, for God's sakes. Anyway, okay. Now, speaking of politics, and we mentioned the Stakey Big Fat Loser Abraham. The big story now announcing in 2026, the World Cup is coming to Atlanta.
Good.
Well, now, wait a minute. We need to cancel this. We need to send this to Denver. We can't have a World Cup. We can't have athletic events. Wait a minute. Athletic events coming to Atlanta, Georgia, the home of racists and white supremacists? We've got to put a stop to this. Stakey Big Fat Loser Abraham is totally against this idea. We can't have all you people from around the world, especially all you brown people from all those brown people countries, coming to racist Atlanta where you're not allowed to vote if you're black. I say get rid of the World Cup. We don't want all those people coming in here to this racist country, the worst country or the worst state in the world. As Stakey even told you that, it's the worst state in America, the worst place to work, worst place to live. Why would you want the World Cup? We need to stop this now. Let's have a petition. Stop the World Cup to the racist Atlanta.
Isn't it amazing that the Europeans
assholes
said Atlanta is perfectly fine for this World Cup event?
Well, for soccer.
The biggest thing in sports in the world.
Yeah, the world.
But the baseball commissioner could not have an all-star game.
No. And, of course, Stakey Big Fat Loser Abraham, who was responsible for getting it canceled in Atlanta, then denied having anything to do with it.
By the way, go on the thing and vote for Braves. Braves.
Yeah,
That's the only thing I'm having to do with the All-Star game. I want it chock full of Braves where they have to talk about Atlanta the whole freaking night.
I did notice
because I'm not watching the damn thing until they bring it back to Atlanta.
I'm not watching it either, but I was watching ESPN the other night, and they did lead off with the Braves being winning 14 in a row or whatever. So at least they almost, now that they've done that, they have to mention them in a fairly positive light. But you're right, until they start showing respect. And again, what's the voting? It must be over pretty soon. We have another couple of weeks.
It's online. You can do it. It's really easy, actually. So just go online.
Again,
you no longer have to put those little chads and poke them out.
The dangling chads.
Even though that was fun, man. That was fun.
That's why I started calling Chad Hangman.
Yeah.
From back for the dangling chads. Anyway, the World Cup. The Atlanta Sports Council president, Dan Corso. Dan, I'm sorry. We're going to have to go against you here, sir. We cannot have the World Cup. We cannot have athletic events coming to Atlanta, Georgia, the home of racists and white supremacists. It's going to be in Boston, Dallas, Houston, Kansas City, Los Angeles, Miami, New York, New Jersey, Philadelphia, San Francisco, and Seattle.
To TMZ, the headline was coming to New York, L.A., and Atlanta. So we were lobbed in with and even Kansas City. So if I'm Kansas City, I'm like, what the hell?
Unbelievable. But again, you can kiss my butt.
And the Associated Press
scumbags.
did a list of all the stadiums. Said, well, it's open here, blah, blah, blah. And Atlanta, which has a fixed roof.
Yeah.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
The damn thing opens.
Not understand. Yeah, right. Oh, they said fixed.
Associated Press said we had a fixed
no,
roof.
we have an open close roof. Oh God. They don't know. They don't know. They don't care about Atlanta.
I got to tell you, when I was going to school at Georgia State, journalism, and we took a tour. Monty Plott took us up there for a tour of the AP thing over there by the Omni. I'd always, my whole life, thought working for Associated Press would be cool. They know everything before anybody, right? That would be so. When I never seen a bunch of unhappy, sneering, despicable faces. No one was smiling.
Really?
No one seemed to be having a good time. They're all listless and just sitting around. It was like working for the IRS.
Really?
I'm going, what the hell? These people are not happy. It was the most depressing place. You go to the AJC, the newsroom was bopping. There's people talking and laughing, and things were going on.
Yeah.
Not AP, man.
Wow.
It was like some corporate IBM thing.
Damn.
It depressed me.
Very cool. Holy Crap of Sports, Best Podcast in America, coming up later on today.
Yes, sir.
Do you have anything off the top of your head that you'll be highlighting?
Yeah, there's a few things going on, but you always ask me this. Damn it!
I'm sorry. Well, let me.
I'm going to be doing a review of Jurassic World. I went and saw that yesterday. So.
Oh, the new one.
Worth going to see?
Yeah, if you like the dinosaur thing, if you like the whole thing, yeah, you got to go see it.
I mean, the original Jurassic Park was really good, and I hear they kind of mend the two.
No, nothing ever will come close to the first one. When that T-Rex came through, that's an iconic movie moment.
Yeah.
So everything
Remember the
since
original
then,
sound with the bushes and everything? I mean, the first, yeah.
There's several throwbacks to all the movies, which is kind of like, in fact, there's one that I was the only person. It was pretty full, by the way. I was the only person who kind of got one thing where the T-Rex walks in between something. It looks like the emblem. It's pretty cool. It is cool.
It's kind of like the James Bond thing they did in the last one.
It was pretty cool. And they got the old people from the first movie back, and they could have written more funny lines in there, but there's enough. There's enough to have. And the kids, there's a bunch of kids in it. And they all applauded at the end because they enjoyed it. And you can take a kid. There's only one woke moment, and it's one line, and it was actually a funny line. But that's it. Otherwise, it's totally safe for the kids.
What was the funny line? We'll give it away. I don't care if people don't remember what it was.
It was basically how there was one chick there, and you could kind of figure out that she liked girls. Yeah, she says, I like redheads too, which was kind of funny. In the way,
it's kind of kinky, actually. I'm getting a little excited.
Is it this movie, or is it an older one where it's one of the most horrible transition scenes where the girl is screaming and then it transitions to, it looks like a giant Jeff Goldblum and he's coming out of the subway, but he's behind a picture?
I can't remember which one that was.
That.
But this one's worth taking the kids to. And
now this one was the theme of it that life as we know it maybe ended because the dinosaurs are going to win everybody. They take over everything.
Basically, it's dominion. Who's going to have dominion over the earth?
Wow.
And it's got some great action scenes. Yeah. Of course, you like to see dinosaurs fighting each other. The T-Rexes, you always pull for the T-Rex.
I assume the technology for visuals has got to be the best ever.
It's just absolutely amazing. So it's worth going to see. If you don't like the dinosaur movies, don't bother.
Well, let me ask you a couple of sports things. I thought you might find this interesting. In Sports Illustrated, if I can only find it.
By the way, pizza movie reviews brought to you by FarmhousePrintingCo.com. Printing custom shirts, hats, signs, promotion items since 1896. No minimum order, no setup fees, laser engraving.
1896, America.
Kimber Show t-shirts, Holy Crap is t-shirts, a laser engraving. Did I mention that? FarmhousePrintingCo.com.
Well, Eric looks good for a guy who's 135 or whatever. In Sports Illustrated, I just got, again, they used to be every week, and now it's just whenever they send it out. But they're longer editions with longer stories.
When you call them, say, when's it coming out? They go, well, when are you going to be home?
Yeah. When can you make it? But there's a very short thing here called Rookie of the Year. A brilliant first book details the author's first movie. The Church of Baseball is the name of the book by Ron Shelton. Oh. Ron Shelton wrote his first book at the age of 76, right now. He had never written a book.
Oh, he'd been screenplays.
He wrote the screenplay for Bull Durham, and his book is called The Church of Baseball, which, of course, is what the girl said. I believe in the Church of Baseball. It was 1988 production Bull Durham, which Shelton wrote and also directed. Yeah. Here's a guy who's never, what an incredible achievement. The book is about how the sausage is made in Hollywood. It's also a touching account of the author's relationship with baseball. Shelton was a minor leaguer. And a few of these escapades he recounts will be familiar to people who have seen the movie. He once tried to get his slumping team a rain out by drunkenly removing a tarp. It didn't work like it did on camera. He was a rare baseball player who spent his time before games taking in the works of Sam Peckinpah. Describes Bull Durham as a Leostrata in the minor leagues. Sounds pretentious because Shelton is, in addition to being a good writer, a self-effacing one. Here's a quick story. After Shelton's baseball career ended, a local jeweler who knew him lamented to his face how Shelton never made the majors. It was clear that not only could you not go home again, Shelton writes, you couldn't even go home the first time. Shelton walked through the screenplay scene by scene, discussing his motivation and his reasoning, shifts to the production phase, fighting the studio's bizarre belief that Anthony Michael Hall would be a better Nuke LaLoosh than Tim Robbins.
No, he's a good actor,
Yeah.
but not at that time.
Tim Robbins
Yeah.
and Anthony Michael Hall. At that point, I don't only remember him as with Sweet 16 or whatever it was with a little redhead
But when he
girl.
grew up, he was in the TV show The Dead.
Yeah, what are the geeks? What the hell was
The
it?
Christopher Walken movie. That was a Stephen King movie. The
Yeah.
Dead something.
Yeah.
And he could see dead. He could see the future or something like that when he touched people. And he was the Dead Zone. The Dead Zone.
Yeah, I don't remember
And
that
he was
one.
a pretty good actor. He was in the
Yeah.
Batman movies too.
Yeah. Anyway, I was flabbergasted that Ron Shelton had never written a book, but he wrote Bull Durham and directed it. Pretty talented guy. Also, Vince McMahon's in the news, and not for a happy reason. Apparently, Vince McMahon, as a company announced today, that the WWE CEO and chairman is stepping down from his wrestling duties. The company announced today. The story broke this week that apparently Mr. McMahon gave a $3 million payment in hush money to a former woman with whom he was farkalutalating.
$3 million?
$3 million. He also gave the employee a pay raise from $100,000 to $200,000 at the start of the affair before he passed the woman off like a toy to the head of their talent relations division, John Laurinaitis.
Here, watch this.
The investigation uncovered other similar non-disclosure agreements with employees dating back several years. So Vince McMahon apparently has affairs with the girls at work and then pays them off.
So?
I know.
Did you expect anything less?
I don't have a
care.
problem with it.
Was he forcing them to do it?
No.
No.
And McMahon will retain his role and responsibilities related to the creative content during this period. Remains committed to cooperating with their view and so forth. The report states, here we go, investigation by counsel, work with an independent third party, they have retained a law firm. The investigation determined the relationship between McMahon and the former employee was consensual.
Yes.
So what's the problem?
Well, women will say we can't get ahead, and if every company does this, we won't be able to get ahead legitimately. Okay, I understand that, but when you're working for Vince McMahon,
If
come
you're
on.
the girl, I think you know what you're doing.
What
if
you're
you're
getting
flirting with
into.
Vince McMahon and he's coming, I mean, all you have to say the first time is, "I'm really uncomfortable, Mr. McMahon. Thank you so much." Or make out with him and say, "Oh, I can't do this. I got a boyfriend." I mean, there's always some way to, I went back to my husband. I mean, come on, there's some way to get out of being, like you're not forced into a relationship.
It's not the only job in the world. No.
God, I mean, talk about the Me Too movement. A bunch of idiots.
What were you
Anyway.
saying, Flounder? I think I interrupted you.
I don't know. I don't think I was.
Flounder forgot something. You want to do?
Oh, well, in fact, hold everything. The fact that Flounder forgot something is sponsored by M&S Title
What the hell did
Pawn.
I forget?
Hey, we gotta do something. Work with us here.
Yeah, give me a break, will you? I'm trying to make this happen over here. M&S Title Pawn, bringing this ridiculous little segment of the Kimmer Show podcast to you. M&S Title Pawn in beautiful Bremen, Georgia. It's right there at 306 Laurel Street, Suite A. They're open Monday through Saturday. You go in person at Bremen, Georgia, Laurel Street, Suite A, 306 Laurel. Or check them out on the web at manstitle.com. I'm going to spell this for you because the company is called M&S. And if you spell that, it's M-A-N-D-S. So the way to get them on the web is manstitle.com, M-A-N-D-S title.com. Or call them. Here's the phone number. As Pete marches around the room, ladies and gentlemen, on Flag Day. 678 678-821-3337. 678-821-3337. M&S Title Pawn in Bremen. And thank you so much.
Beautiful downtown.
Friends in downtown Bremen. A quick thank you also. I just got the mail on the way in here today, and we got a very nice check. Ho, hey, ha, ho. No. See if it's really gold. From our friend Ron, a very, very nice check to help us out here at the Old Kimmer Show podcast. And I'll put that in the bank either this afternoon or tomorrow.
I love the address. That's pretty cool. Don't say it.
No, I won't say it.
Cool address.
Yes, it is. Kind of a girl thing. And he says, Kimmer, enjoying the podcast. Was a listener in the past. Glad I found your podcast. Hope this little bit helps. From Ron. Ron, it is helping tremendously, I promise you. And again, if you want to help us out with a check, get an address to mail it, or sign up on patreon.com or whatever, go to thekimmershow.net. And that's all there is to it. Everything is linked up on there. And again, Ron, thank you. A creepy thing in the news here today, which I almost... first of all, I've talked about our friend Stuart, the lady with the name Stuart, who lives in Arizona now, a friend of my daughter, Jennifer. And she actually was at one of our CD signings back 30 years ago here in Atlanta, now lives in Arizona. And she sent in a quick meme, and it says, "Is it just me? Or does it feel like the years 2021 and 22 and 2020 have been written by Stephen King, directed by Quentin Tarantino, and with a soundtrack by Yoko Ono?" Yes, I would say that it does. Now, a creepy story in the news, and I almost wasn't even going to say anything about it, but you deserve to hear it. An update on the story concerning Ashley Biden's diary. Ashley Biden is President Potato Head's daughter. There was a big lawsuit and claims that a woman named Elizabeth something or other, stole her diary and then sold it to Politico or somebody for $30,000, whatever. Well, that part is true, but she never stole the diary. Two updates. One of the updates is that Ashley Biden, when she was in rehab, left her diary behind, went and did everything else, and somebody found the diary and, finders keepers, and sold it. Okay. Yes. Now, in the diary of Ashley Biden, the daughter, she even speculates herself that she may have been, she's a sex addict. She admits that she's a sex addict. She'll have sex with anybody at any time or used to. Well, I mean, clearly, she was a sex addict. She just had to have sex with whoever was around, yes. And she believes that it may well have been back because her father, Joe, back when he was a senator, used to take showers with her when she was a not little girl. The site revealed that Ashley questioned whether showering with her father might have contributed to her sex addiction. I put a picture of Joe Biden and his daughter Ashley on the Kimmer Show Facebook podcast. Yes, sir. A picture of him leering at his daughter. Ashley wrote in her diary, "I have always been boy crazy, hyper-sexualized at a young age. I remember somewhat being sexualized with a family member. I remember having sex with friends at a young age. Showers with my dad, probably not appropriate. Entertaining the possibility that Joe could have been inappropriate sexually with his daughter Ashley at times. Although she says, I love my mom and dad. I'm glad they're on my side."
And behind
and behind and sniffing, and talk about his history of sniffing little girls. Look at the picture.
If this had been Donald Trump's daughter, saying
Laura
this.
Trump, are you kidding? He'd have impeached him again and then put him in prison.
They tried to say he was stripping her anyway. Yeah. And here's proof of it going on.
I mean, my God. I mean,
they're evil. They're just plain evil.
They are evil. One more thing in the liberal news. Again, you're never going to hear that anywhere or see that anyplace. No. And again, just look at all the pictures and all the times when Joe Lady Parts goes up behind women and little girls and smells them and rubs them and sniffs them and oogles them. I mean, come on. That's not because he's old and old people used to do that. I don't do that.
He did that 30 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, please. Back when he was a senator 50 years ago. Lauren Boebert. Holy cow, what a bunch of nasty stuff going on now. The liberal press has come out with stories claiming that Lauren Boebert, who's that hottie with the glasses congresswoman from Colorado, who believes in gun control and also believes in conservative values. I mean, yeah, gun control, but putting them all in the bullseye. That's her gun control. Lauren Boebert believes in never taking away your guns in the Second Amendment. The liberal press has now come out with claims that she used to be a paid escort. She was a hooker.
Hey, it's a job.
Well, you got to do something for a living. I'm just working here. I'm working here. Her attorney now has sent a letter to the American Muckrakers Political Action Committee regarding the claims that she was an unlicensed paid escort who had 2 abortions. They may not have realized that when you are an organization putting out deliberately, blatantly false and disgusting accusations which you know to be untrue, it's a crime in Colorado.
It's libel if you print it.
It's not just a civil matter, it's an actual crime. And Boebert told reporters, this group's vile conduct demonstrates why people are fed up with politics. I'm not going to stand by and pretend this is normal behavior. The website also claimed that she met Senator Ted Cruz and was hired by a Koch family member in Aspen, Colorado, as though they were together, and that's maybe one of the reasons why she had a pair of abortions. The Political Action Committee staffer appeared to lead the unknown person on the other end of this attack, suggested that Boebert was blackmailing Ted Cruz for backing her or for not backing her, claiming she would sue him if he didn't. And it was supposedly photos of claiming to be Boebert from the Sugar Daddy website, although whose husband had a meth problem and was stripping at the time, although they had to certify that actually the picture they used was of another girl. So they printed the story anyway, and they're saying all this anyway.
She's going to own them.
Oh, my God. Thank you so much. One more quick celebrity thing going on before I forget it. We mentioned last week there's an update now on the movie Buzz Lightyear that's come out, and how actor Chris Evans took over from a very famous actor that you know and named Tim Allen.
Yes, but real quick, Tim Allen is going to be, there's another one coming out, and Tim Allen's going to be in that one.
Oh, they have.
So I asked the same question this morning because I thought maybe because it was a woke movie and Tim Allen is a conservative that they removed him. But it's prior to Buzz and the guy meet.
Well,
I've never seen Toy Story, but it's a prequel.
Well, that's what they're claiming. But here's the original update was when Chris Evans came out and said, for all those of you who are angry because there's a gay scene in there of 2 girls kissing, get over it. You know, it's not the story about the gay kiss. It's a story of me and Buzz Lightyear and stuff like that. And Chris Evans has taken over for Tim Allen, and he defended the gay kiss and told people you're idiots if you don't like the gay kiss. Well, actress Patricia Heaton, very famous actress, as you know, on her own right, said when they replaced Tim Allen with Chris Evans, she tweeted, quote, "Saw the trailer for Buzz Lightyear, and all I can say is Disney Pixar made a huge mistake in not casting my pal Tim Allen in that role, that he originated the role that he owns."
I know, that's what kids want to know.
Tim is Buzz. Why would they completely castrate this iconic, beloved character? She said the movie castrated Tim Allen's character in the film, and she said taking away that project takes away the one element that makes people want to go see the movie. It's been under scrutiny in a large number of Middle Eastern countries that won't show it because 2 girls kiss it at some point. And Evans talked about that. Now, the movie people did say what Fonda was just referring to. She says the current Buzz Lightyear movie is an origin story, but the reason the character became so beloved is because of what Tim Allen created. Yeah. Why take away the one element that makes us want to see it? The movie people said, no. It's the film is about the man who inspired the Buzz Lightyear toy featured in the Toy Story. We are not making a Toy Story movie. We are making a Buzz Lightyear movie, and so the first and foremost needed a different person playing that Lightyear separate from the toy Buzz Lightyear.
I still say, and Chris Evans will probably do a great job. Yeah. It was a mistake not to cast Tim out, because that's what people go in there. That's the voice they want to hear coming out of Buzz Lightyear.
Why would you do it? I mean,
you know why they did it, because they hate Tim Allen.
And now Tim Allen's going to come back, but I don't know whether they're just announcing it. Anyway, the whole thing is this wokeness is driving me freaking crazy. And it's getting worse and worse, and it's more pervasive, and now it's everywhere. Not only just college campuses. I mean, businesses, woke
Because
Coke.
they control the campuses, they control the media, and they control Hollywood. And
and-
our
and-
government right now.
And here's one more. Check this out. George Washington University. George Washington University has a moniker for its teams called the Colonials.
Yes, sir.
Okay? The Colonials, the people who brought freedom to the colonies. Uh-oh. No more are they going to use Colonials for the George Washington University player teams. It'll keep in use until they get the new one next year. A special committee, yeah, I'll bet, at George Washington University found that the university community is sharply divided 50-50. Alumni were kind of in favor of keeping the name Colonials. The student body is saying get rid of it. Because for supporters, the term refers to those who lived in the colonies, those who fought for independence against England with bravery, courage, and against all odds, secured democracy for the United States, embodying the spirit of George Washington, after whom the university is named. My God, they beat the British Navy. Anyway, well, they did.
Not most of the time.
Well, I mean, we needed help from
John
the
Paul
Indians and the
Jones.
French, and but whatever.
Bon
I mean,
Homme Richard.
but still, we won. We won. We won our independence.
the Serapis.
However, for opponents, colonials means colonizers and refers to those who stole land from indigenous groups, plundered their resources, murdered and exiled native peoples, and introduced slavery into the colonies. Yes. The erasure of the colonial mascot is an erasure of the sacrifice made by those who dedicated their lives to the creation of this great nation. And the people who want to keep it saying the mascot does not uphold colonialism. It is meant to honor the colonists of the Continental Army who fought against tyrannical colonialism. I mean,
So what's the new
please.
moniker? The Pink Pusses or something?
Yeah,
What are they going to
what are you going to call them now?
Yeah. What
I mean,
name are they going to find?
Well, they should get rid of the university name George Washington.
Well, that's next.
That's what the students are saying. That is what's next. They're gonna
Once
have to
again,
change-
kowtowing to the students. You don't want to come here? Don't come here. There's other people that'll come there.
I know. It's just.
It's a good school, from what I hear. You're telling me that they kick these assholes out who don't want to be there? That it's not going to be replaced?
I know. Flounder, would you get that song that I mentioned here? This was kind of
Immediately.
at your leisure. This was kind of funny. In today's news releases was a story about the a recording artist named Lizzo. And again, to repeat just very quickly, when we were still working at the Scumbag radio station, the Scumulus Company, one day we were into the break room or into the conference type room, the sales area, and there was a young, a chubby black woman who was going to start singing. And she was singing a song or something, and we were kind of walking through. I don't know if we were together at the time. We were walking, all of us kind of at one point together. And she was singing a song, and then they were asking, where she's from. And she was part of somebody's PR tour of radio stations. We'd never heard of her, and she seemed like she was like 18 or 20 years old. She was very young, and she was very nice. Had a nice personality, kind of like an Oprah kind of personality, seemed like to me. But I'd never heard of her, and I wasn't overwhelmed with her singing one way or the other. I thought, well, that's nice. She sings, and off she went. Well, her name is Lizzo, and Lizzo suddenly has become a major star. And not just in recording, but she's all over TV. She's in the news. She's everywhere. And because she's another social media darling, and now she's in the news for a whole different reason, speaking of being woke. Lizzo has a new song out called Girls, spelled Grrrls. Flounder, would you play a little selection from Girls there for us, sir, by Lizzo? Okey-dokey.
That's a bad word right there. What?
I can't hear it over here. Oh, your thing isn't working?
Working on it.
Bag, do you see this shit? I'm a spaz.
That's what you got for saying spaz.
Yeah. Well, the record "Girls" uses the phrase when Lizzo talks about going off the deep end. I'm a spaz. I'm about to knock somebody out. So the word spaz has now led to some social media reaction, including a woman named Diviny who slammed Lizzo on Twitter for using the term, which she said is a slur derived from spastic dysplasia, a form of cerebral palsy that involves muscle stiffness. Your new song makes me pretty angry and sad, Diviny wrote with cerebral palsy in the post directed at Lizzo. Spaz doesn't mean freaked out or crazy. It's an ableist slur. It's 2022. Do better. All right. Oh, okay. All right. Now, first of all, Lizzo said, you know what? You're right. So she changed the lyric entirely. The new lyric, instead of saying, I'm a spaz, I'm about to knock somebody out, the new version says, hold me back. Now, she changed the lyric because she said, I'm proud to say there's a new version of Girls. This is the result of me listening and taking action. As an influential artist, I'm dedicated to being part of the change I've seen waiting to happen in the world.
You know, it's
In other words,
crap.
kowtowing to anybody who complains. What was that, Flounder?
Well, the other thing is in her tweet where she addresses this, she says, I never want to promote derogatory language. Do you listen to the song?
Yeah, the
she
whole
says,
song
bitch.
is-
Everything.
Oh, my God.
The whole thing.
And they picked the one word spaz, which, oh, God, I spazzed out there. Nobody
one
who
thinks
says
about-
that is being offensive to someone with cerebral palsy.
Right.
Now,
I
come on.
I didn't associate that with that.
If I say freaked out, there are freaks, and you shouldn't make fun of freaks. But I say the word I freaked out, that's not a big deal. Come on, people.
That's what freaks are there for.
Well, that's right. They're in the circus for a damn good reason, America. This is such nonsense.
Employment.
But this woke, jeez. All right. And now, Vice President's side piece is launching a new task force. Oh, she's been so successful at the others. First of all, they gave her the border. I'm going to find out the causes of why these little brown people want to keep coming to America. We just can't figure it out, and by God, I'm going to get to the bottom of it. Really, think about that. How come nobody just said that? I said, let me get this straight. You don't know why these people want to come here? Is there anybody in the world who doesn't know why they want to come here? Anyway, so that didn't work. And then they put her in charge of political cohesion to get the party together or something, trying to get all Democrats. Yeah, that didn't work. And now they've launched another task force, an online task force on online abuse and harassment.
Control speech.
It's because of the shooting massacres in Texas and New York. The misogynistic and racist commentary on social media and message boards. So they're going to have the Attorney General Garland, who's the biggest little pimp in America, and the Surgeon General, who's responsible for, you talk about misinformation between the two of them, and the Attorney General, who caved in like a little pussy when the School Board Association said, we got to start calling these parents domestic terrorists, and he said, okay, and put it in a freaking memo. These are the people with Vice President's side piece, who's going to be in charge of online abuse and harassment, which, by the way, is also against the Constitution. Well, let them try.
This anti-constitutional moment brought to you by Holy Crap, it's real estate. The real estate market is crazy. Get free advice with Joe Huggins with Keller Williams. Need an all-cash offer with no showings or repairs? Well, call Joe. Work with a Kimmer fan. Find him online at joehugginsrealtor.com, 770-599-5750. Real estate with unreal service.
Oh, there you are. A quick thing. That's right. Sorry. My flounder's going crazy over there. A quick cop thing, and I wanted to, I know this is wrong, but I don't blame the cop, and I'm going to, so you can blame me, and again, I'm not a role model, so stick it. A man serving a prison sentence of life without parole because he murdered an 18-month-old baby who happened to be his girlfriend's baby boy, and he murdered the child. And then the cops caught him. He was in the car with a sawed-off shotgun pointed under his chin, sitting next to his girlfriend, who was scared to death. One police officer, a deputy sheriff, this was in it, let's see, this is an Atlanta appeals court case ruled that one police officer should not be charged with doing something bad, but the other one can. Here's the story. One police officer, the guy's he murdered an 18-month-old baby, and he had a shotgun under his chin with a girlfriend in the car with him. Cops showed up. One cop shot the guy. Yeah. Shot him in the head, the shoulder, and the leg. And then went on to say on his police footage camera, said, "I shot that blank in the head, and that blank will die any minute." Okay, that was fine because there was no evidence. The court ruled that there was no prior ruling to factually change what had happened with his case about a fair warning and what was going to happen being against the Constitution. That had nothing to do with anything. A different police officer, Deputy Victor Jones, apparently the other officer had pinned down the bad guy. The bad guy started to get up. And when he got up, Deputy Victor Jones slammed his gun into the bad guy, into the killer's face, chipping a tooth and cutting his face. Well, the court ruled that that was against the law. He's a DeKalb deputy, was against the law, and refused to dismiss the claim on him because it was illegal to use excessive force against a person who was handcuffed and not resisting arrest. The pistol whipping of the killer was a gratuitous use of force. Although the court has no sympathy for the murderer, he was pursued and arrested for murdering a child, but we must draw the line on reasonable inferences in his favor. So, but he started getting up, and that's when the cop hit him in the face with his pistol.
Good.
I say good.
Good.
But that cop's going to have to defend himself now in court. The scumbag baby killer, it gets to sue the deputy from DeKalb County.
Why isn't somebody in prison already killed him?
Baby killers ought to be killed, and I mean, baby murderers, you know. Yeah. Here we go again. But again, I want to pass it along because that's why I couldn't be a cop. I mean, believe me.
Why would anybody be a cop?
Also, and speaking of hot weather, and I won't dwell on this because it's so horrible.
It's Friday, toward the end of the show. What are you doing
I
here?
know. Well,
You're
because
killing us.
Inanna Louis Leon Espinoza, a 27-year-old woman, had her 3-month-old baby and her 5-year-old inside her car, and she went shopping at the Dollar Tree store on Holcomb Bridge Road at 1 o'clock in the afternoon when it was 110 degrees, and somebody saw the babies in the car, called the cops, she's arrested. This is not funny, but this is the most strange story I've heard in a while. Home Depot, Roswell Road, Holcomb Bridge Road, Holcomb Wood Shopping Center, Market Center, Holcomb Bridge Road, gets a call. Afternoon. A 54-year-old woman is found standing on a forklift in the receiving area of the Home Depot. But she can't move.
What?
Because there's a crowbar sticking through her stomach, all the way through her stomach, out the back of her, and stuck into a cardboard compactor behind her. So she is literally nailed by a crowbar into the board compactor, and the board compactor was not bleeding. The wound was not bleeding because the crowbar was keeping pressure on the wound. So the cops get there, and the rescue people get there and say, geez, don't touch her. So they had to cut, the firefighters, the Roswell fire crew had to cut the crowbar while limiting her moving at all. Can you imagine what that must have been like?
How did this happen?
Well, they took her to Wellstar North Fulton, had surgery. She's stable. The report did not indicate how it happened. Somebody at the store heard a horn honking and her screaming for help. They saw her impaled on the forklift machine and realized she couldn't move. How the hell did she get there?
Is she a worker?
I guess. I don't know. That's all I know.
That's a hell of a lawsuit.
Is that an unbelievable story?
That's a hell of a lawsuit coming.
And I remember there was a true story of two people who got impaled on a huge spike of some kind, and the problem was one of them was going to have to die.
Yeah.
They couldn't save one; they could only save one of the two people.
They were Siamese
and
twins?
It was a true it was a true story, but when they pulled it out, it was going to come out through the guy's brain or his heart or something, and there was no way to stop him from dying.
Okay, is there a
And,
happy
and he knew it. They told him, in order to save this guy, you're going to have to die.
Is there a happy
Can you
story?
imagine? Yeah, the happiness is their birthday list. Yes. Hey, Venus Williams is 42 today. By the way, I mentioned this morning on the radio, I couldn't find my picture. Oh, I found it the other day, and now I can't find it. All my stuff that I collected from the storage area. Peter Lupus. I have a picture of Peter Lupus and me together where he's feeling my bicep muscles. And I wanted to find it and put it on the Facebook page again today because Peter Lupus is 90 years old today.
Damn.
He played Willie the Strongman in the original.
Those vitamin things work.
He had those spray vitamins, sucked down those vitamin straw things, and he's 90 years old. And Peter Lupus, again, I'm talking about the actor, not the medical condition. Joe Piscopo is 71. By the way, he's got the strangest voice. Have you heard just his voice on the commercials? I take this medicine for the vitamins. I take them every day. It sounds like he's trying to make fun of himself. And he's like a weightlifter the last 20 years.
The only thing he was good at was Sinatra. He did Sinatra.
Yeah, he did a great Sinatra. Great Sinatra. Newt Gingrich, 79 today. Greg Kinnear, the actor. He's a good actor, 59. Barry Manilow, our singing boy, is 70. My favorite ex-wife went to see him in concert with a girlfriend, was 79. Aaron and Diane Murphy are 58 years old today. They shared the role of Tabitha, the baby, on Bewitched. But they are not identical twins, they're fraternal twins. So when they started looking differently, the producers had to fire one of them for being too ugly. So they fired Diane and kept Aaron, the twins, because one of them changed. Bobby Farrelly of the Farrelly Brothers, 64 today. He did something about Mary, Kingpin, Dumb and Dumber. You know the name Thomas Hayden Church? He's the actor known for Lowell on Wings, but also Jack in the movie Sideways and HBO's Divorce. He's
also
62.
The Sandman in some of the Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
Very good actor.
Well-known actor. Very well-known. And a quick couple of historical notes here. Thing coming up in a second. First, I want to brag about our buddies at Swap My Whip if you're looking for a different ride. Swap My Whip. Trade your car, swapmywhip.com. Whip is a colloquial term for a ride, WHIP. Swapmywhip.com. Find like-minded car dealers when you don't want to deal with dealerships and used car salesmen. Maybe avoid the middleman entirely. Swapmywhip.com. Trade your car, trade your boat, your jet ski, whatever, stuff like that at swapmywhip.com. And right now, if you use the coupon code KIMMER, K-I-M-M-E-R, for 180 days of free premium listings on swapmywhip.com. That's swapmywhip.com. Hey, back again we go. The Revolutionary War Battle of Bunker Hill was on this day in 1775. The Redcoats won, but it was costly. The Battle of Bunker Hill, 1775 on this day, was where Colonel William Prescott famously said, "Don't fire until you see the whites of their eyes."
We showed them we could fight.
We showed them we could fight. They won, but we won. In the long way, we won. 1953, Supreme Court Justice William O. Douglas stayed the execution of Julius and Ethel Rosenberg for spying. He stayed it for the next day because it was their wedding anniversary. So he said that wouldn't be fair.
Sons of bitches.
So he fried them the day after.
Good. Should have fried him that day.
1960. Oh, did you hear? Bortz did his commentary this morning. On one way, he said, we need more prisons.
It was a good one this morning.
We need more death penalty cases. And he said, his view is, on the death penalty case, you should kill the killer the way he killed the victim.
Yeah.
You strangle a woman, guess what? We're going to strangle you.
Yeah.
Not only that, you should have all this done within 60 to 90 days.
Well, and I agree that there should be an appeals court, an immediate appeals court, who should monitor the trial. As the trial is going along, the murder trial is going along, have another judge who's also monitoring the trial as it happens. So he already knows if there's appeal things where he can say, yeah, we need to check out this, this, and this, and then you get 60 days. And if the appeal isn't over by 60 or 90 days or whatever it is, but I mean a reasonable period of time to go check out what maybe new evidence or whatever, and if that didn't work, it's over. Instead of this 20-year horse shit. Hell, we got people in Georgia.
Well, yeah, he was also talking about not holding up like drug crimes and things like that to where you overpopulate the prisons.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, so I thought it was pretty cool.
Like I said, have you ever driven through Nevada? We've got plenty of room for prisons.
prisons.
Fly over the country, the flyover states. Oh, my God.
I don't call them that because
Well,
that's disrespectful.
That's
what New Yorkers call
the
them.
enjoying from the airplane states. How about that? Where I look at all those little circles.
The
up
nice to
below.
drive through states.
I've driven cross country
Hey,
4 or 5 times.
Kansas is beautiful. I'm sorry, Nebraska is beautiful.
Every state's beautiful.
Yeah, you're right.
I remember going
not
through.
Nevada,
I remember going through. In fact, I was coming back from my Christmas break when I was bringing my brand new newlywed wife back to California to pick up my orders to go to Vietnam. We drove the southern route through New Mexico in January. And I remember at nighttime too, and there was enough snowfall on parts of the ground that it looked like desert cactus with snow around. I mean, it was beautiful, beautiful country. And you can't say enough about the deserts and the cactus and the mountains and it's just, it's a beautiful nation we
You
have.
got to at least drive across country at least once.
Absolutely. Let's see. 1963, the Supreme Court also banned the required reading of the Lord's Prayer in public schools. 1879, Rutgers College, where Tony Soprano lasted a semester and a half. Rutgers College gave an honorary doctorate in philosophy to Thomas Edison after he showed them how he developed an excruciatingly painful way to pull the wings off flies and use a magnifying glass in the summertime to fry worms on the sidewalk. Anyway, Thomas Edison got his doctorate. 2012 on this day, Rodney King was found dead at the bottom of his swimming pool. It was ruled an accidental drowning, and the box-top minister, Raphael Weifnacher, was never charged with his murder. So that's just for the record.
All right.
Anyway, that's all I got, boys.
All right. Remember, I chastised you for not having happy stories on a Friday.
Happy stories of Friday stories.
Well,
yeah.
I have 2 funeral stories,
Oh, there you go.
But they're
Nothing
kinda-
like a good funeral story.
but they're kind of humorous. First one, Dateline, Polk County, Iowa.
Polk County,
A
Iowa.
family is sharing one final joke with their late dad, but not everyone is laughing.
Uh-huh.
Stephen Paul Owens passed away in 2021. He was 59, laid to rest at the Warren Power Cemetery in rural Polk
At
County,
59.
Iowa.
Wow, that's a shame. Yeah.
Controversy, though, his headstone was installed.
Oh.
One side has his name, date, and birth, and the family saying, if you don't listen, you'll have to feel. Do you have a family?
Wait a minute. Say that again now?
If you don't listen, you'll have to feel. Is that okay? Do you have a family saying? Does your family have a saying?
No.
I-
Well, the
Flounder,
good,
does
the
your
good
fam-
guy always wins.
Yeah, I guess.
Or
you do.
remember, you're a Peterson.
I think mine was sit the blank up.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Don't do that, you dummy.
Hey,
yeah,
blow me.
don't touch that. I think was hard.
Wait till your father gets home.
Yeah, that's. I'm gonna pitch a plug out of you.
Don't make me come back there.
If I have to pull this car over.
Don't make me come back there.
Anyway, the other side of the headstone is where the controversy lies. Carved in the stone is the epitaph, "Forever in our hearts, until we meet again.
Wow.
Cherished memories known as our son, brother, father, papa, uncle, friend, and cousin."
Well, that's wonderful. Who could be
Except-
wrong with that?
Due to the careful spacing of the type, the phrase "fuck off" can be read in the first letter of each line vertically.
What if they did it on purpose?
Well, yes, they did. They say it's not profanity because their dad used it as a term of endearment. If he said that to you, it meant he liked you.
Oh, that's hysterical. Well, then it should be public. That's
So now the
very-
cemetery says that the
Are they gonna
well, they
change
told the monument maker not to put it in there, and they did it anyway.
Oh my God! So, is
the-
the cemetery going to take
Yeah,
it
because they
off?
say the other people around should have some semblance of decorum or decency where they don't have to see something like that when
Then
they go
don't
visit
read it.
theirs.
I don't. Well, it is public and it's somebody else's private property.
Now, here's the funny one. If you're not the family...
On the other hand, they're paying for that space. It doesn't say you can't edit a certain message.
But
is
you
there
can't-
anything in their rules?
It's like an HOA. You can't put anything you want in there.
Well, there must be something in the guidelines of when you buy a
You
plot.
can't put like a petting zoo in there or something
Well,
like
no,
that.
I'm sure that's true.
Anyway.
Yes.
By the way,
Yeah.
someone said it to me the other day, every zoo's a petting zoo if you aren't such a big pussy.
Yeah, I mean, get over the fence.
And the emblem
If you can climb a fence, it's a petting
was
zoo.
a tiger and a cobra.
Yeah.
All right, this is from Dateline, India.
All right.
70-year-old woman, poor thing, killed by an elephant as she went to collect water.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it got the typically docile animal, stunned her family when it returned for the dead woman's funeral and trampled her corpse. They say elephants don't remember. Well, this one did.
Oh, he did it again, Lisa.
Maya Murmu was collecting water from a well June 11th when an elephant wandered away from the wildlife sanctuary. The tusked animal approached her. She collected water. Hey, how you doing? Yeah. Hit her, knocked her down, and then trampled her.
Oh.
All right. She had serious injuries. They got her to the hospital, but she perished.
Oh, no.
Later that evening, I guess they do it quick there, her family and friends gathered to perform their burial ceremony. The elephant suddenly returned,
Oh, my
trampled the
God.
corpse, then threw her body aside and fled into the night.
Do you suppose he smelled her remains as a special scent or something?
I don't know. Why would he
Oh, my God.
come back later? Oh, I forgot one more.
Hey, that smells familiar. I think oh, no.
Imagine the horror.
Holy cow.
The horror.
Brutal.
Okay,
All right,
Greg.
boys.
Greg sent a picture in his Kimber Show t-shirt.
Yeah.
The Statue of Liberty one. He's by a pool down there in Florida. He's looking pretty cool down there at the Florida.
It's kind of empty, no other people around him, but it says Kimmer Show. Excellent.
Yeah, he's chastising you, saying, here I am by the pool, and just reminding Kimber for all that crap he went through, he wouldn't have had to gone through that if he had let me help him do
Oh, that's right. He wanted to drive. But now, why would I put him? He was so.
I
He
know.
wanted to drive me down in his truck and trailer to come and get my stuff, so I wouldn't have to do it. But then it would have been 13 hours together being miserable.
Poor man.
So, I mean, really, I saved you a weekend of misery. In fact, I'm still I'm still trying to recoup. Yeah. I'm still mentally whacked out because I'm also trying to get things organized, and I'm still exhausted.
Well, you look like shit. So
I look like shit, and I feel like shit. I'm really, really totally exhausted and whacked out from that trip.
Mr. Ed has a challenge for us.
All right, sir.
He says he's a loyal listener from the 80s, a Deep South food connoisseur.
Uh-huh.
He's challenging us for peanut butter and pickle products.
Yeah.
Says Sam's Club Members Mark brand peanut butter is the best with no oil accumulation. You should
Members
check it out.
Mark?
Members Mark. at
Never heard of
Sam's Club. And Wickles Pickles, an Old South family recipe. Okay, yeah, get rid of that. He says it's sweet, heat, and spicy. Wickles Pickles. So we check that out, and we should eat that on the air, which is not going to happen.
I'm really not a huge pickle guy. I will enjoy a Clausen's dill, cold and crispy Clausen's dill. But I don't really like other pickles.
Who was your favorite character on Game of Thrones? The one you pulled for, the one you liked.
Wow. Well, you do yours in Flanders first. I got to think.
Well, Jon Snow was the big guy who came out of it.
I never watched it.
You never watched Game of Thrones?
Never
It's well
se-
worth watching. It's
Is it?
really great.
You really haven't watched any Game of Thrones?
Nope.
Well, it's great.
Wow.
It's great. They're going to have a sequel, a Jon Snow sequel, and he signed up to come back.
Is he the little person?
No. He's not the little person.
I'm trying to think. I guess I don't know.
He was one of the stars that broke out of there, basically.
He was a huge. I remember when they killed him off, and people went so nuts they brought him back.
Yeah.
He came back from the dead because people were so mad that they killed his character.
And they never really explained how that happened, did they?
No, it was
It
and
just
the
kinda
other
happened.
thing I noticed about that when he came back from the dead, and they said, "What did you see?" And he said, "Nothing."
Yeah, that was
That was freaky to me that they made the stand that instead of seeing your future or the whatever dreamland or the light or the tunnel.
Well, they had
just
different
didn't see
religion
anything.
in that
Yeah, I
show.
know, but still, for them to say it out loud, it made me, oh God.
Fight for Freedom says, with birthing person's day over, families prepare for lawn mowing person's day. And if you want to know that this People magazine, not this one, but the next one I'm going to bring you, if you expose your children to this culture that is being promoted by the People magazine types, your kid is going to be warped. Here's the second page. I have a thing called Chatter. Here's what Kim Kardashian said, and I
boy.
quote, "If you told me that I literally had to eat poop every single day and I would look younger, I might."
Oh God.
That's in People magazine. Okay.
These are also the same people, like in Teen Vogue, who are suggesting sodomy for
don't
young
get ahead of
girls.
me here.
Yeah. Oh God, I'm really.
This on the same page, you have this Bowen Yang guy who I've seen in one skit on Saturday Night Live, and in everything he does, he has to remind you, of
Never
course,
heard of
he's gay. Everything he does, he reminds you. And then above him is Little Nas X, the Satanist buggerer, who has a video that kids watch where he's literally being buggered by Satan.
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah, we talked about that. Yeah, before that Country Road song came out.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, he says, "I've decided to come out as beautiful. That might surprise a lot of you. I've been suffering from this condition a long time, but I'm ready to own it."
I'll give
Talk
you a
about the
condition.
narcissism. And here's what's worse. So the very back page, the back cover of the People magazine has this on it. Now you can see all the colors. It's all pink. Always Proud, stream now Discovery Plus. Trixie Motel, it's got a Dolly Parton looking like drag queen on this side. On the right side is a young boy, and it's called Generation Drag, where they're grooming young boys to be drag queens. And he's biting his lip, which is what they tell girls to do to look sexy in photos, is bite your lower lip.
Oh, my God.
He's biting his lower lip and a sexual pose with his arms behind his head.
God.
Okay. And in the middle of it, the Book of Queer, Your History Isn't Straight.
This is on the back cover of People magazine.
Magazine, basically saying everybody of any worth in history, of course, was gay, not straight, and says not their history, your history isn't straight, because everything cool that happened was because of gay people.
Well, they're just helping because, a kid when he gets to be 9 or 10 might decide he really wants to change genders, It'd be okay with mom and dad, I'm guessing.
And by the way, Fox News had a headline, Michigan AG says drag queens make everything better, suggests drag queens should be in every school.
Yeah, I saw them. They did this story last night. They also showed the video of a drag queen, naked drag queen, twerking a young boy on the street in their parade.
The pride. And by the way, it was a trans from a man to a woman. He had breasts now,
the
and they
boobs.
were exposed.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, final thing here. I hate to say this, but Mike has pointed this out. Medic Mike.
Yeah.
Can confirm Kimmer will receive a bill in the mail.
No. There's no way that I broke that. They would have said, no.
It's very easy to pay online. They charge your Peach Pass if you have one. Do you have a Peach Pass?
No, of course they don't have a Peach Pass.
He says, I doubt Kimmer had one. He'll get additional fees, probably not from U-Haul, but you owe SunPass money.
There was never a sign that said if you have to, this is a paid
Ignorance
road.
is not an excuse under
Yes,
the law,
it
my
is.
friend.
Oh my God, Oh my God. Well, you wait and see what's gonna.
Flounder, what is our joke of the
Bastards.
day here? Bad Text Theater.
Nobody warned me about that.
Okay, it should be the one under the Coke Pepsi one we just did, I guess.
Put a sign up there warning these people at the freaking border.
It's about a father talking to his kid. Yeah, you're getting money. You're going to have to pay for it.
I'm screwed.
Okay.
Did I mention we need your help and support here at patreon.com, Kimmer Show, or
Did you find it?
Yeah, the future me and the kid.
Yeah, it's a future me and his kid watching Infinity War, which was the Avengers movie where half of them die.
okay.
All
All
right.
right, which one are you going to be?
I'll be future me.
All right, I'm the kid.
Okay, here we go.
Wait, did they really just all die? Dad, quick, let's watch Endgame now.
I must be looking at the wrong one. Hold on.
That wasn't very funny.
I'm not seeing that in the script anywhere here.
Yeah,
For God's sake, it's right below the one we just did Wednesday.
right. But what you sent me, I have half cut off.
Wait a minute.
Oh, that's not good.
Wait a minute.
Well, just pick another one. Do you have another one? Pete's going over now to fraternize with Flounder, trying to find the exact script here at the Kimmer Show podcast. That's the whole thing? So in other words,
over again.
let's pretend that never happened.
Okay. Take two. Okay, you ready?
I think. So am I kid or me?
Or you want to be I thought you said you were the future me. That's what you said, right? That's what he said. He's the future
Yeah,
me.
so don't I start first?
No, because it says kid. See, the kid is watching the movie for the first time, but the dad already knows.
Okay, okay. Here we go.
All right. Wait, did they really just die? Dad, quick, let's watch Endgame now.
No,
What do you mean?
you must wait a year.
But I see it's right there on streaming. Let's just...
You will wait a year and suffer as your elders did.
See, well, the
See,
elders had to wait.
Everybody wants everything right
sequel
now,
came.
and this new generation is.
All right.
So we explain the.
How about we do another one?
Let's do
ending
the
of
last
the-
one here that we just said here. It's from Walking Dead. And it's a little kid and his father, the sheriff, who always called, the kid's name was Carl.
All right.
But he was an Englishman with a southern accent, a Georgia
well,
accent.
there
So
you are.
instead of Carl, he would call him Coral. It was
Carl.
always, it was two syllables. All right.
All right.
Are you going to be the sheriff or the little kid?
I'll be the little kid.
Okay. Here we go.
Do you know how much a chimney costs?
Let me guess. Nothing, because it's on the house.
It's actually through the roof. through the
Oh
roof,
my
Carl.
God, it's on the house. No, it's on the house. I know it's through the roof. Oh. All right, well, that's better. That's a better ending.
Not much.
All right, you bastards.
Oh, boy.
Stay cool.